Chapter 26. The rain and wind pick up as the ship sails to the east, swaying peacefully like matching a partner's rhythm in a dance. Despite the harsh weather, the captain and her crew stayed on the deck, eyes peeled for something far beyond the sea. Hotaru takes a moment to gather some fresh air from the deck, while the others attend to Aziza and her wounds. Hotaru makes her way over to the captain, who appears to be lost in thought. Her stance is powerful like always, but her eyes are aimlessly wandering unlike her crew. "So you're the hero of the group," she said without turning away from the waves. "Seems your grandmother put a lot on you. Kinda like that Ortega fella. Some hero I'm turning out to be," Hotaru thought. After helplessly watching her friend dive into the lion's den, how could she believe she was worthy of the title? However, she didn't leave to see the captain to soak in her insecurity. She had to know more of her. From what Fedir said, she is not as ruthless as she seems. In fact, Aziza mentioned trusting her as well along with what she discovered. "You know more than you let on. Aziza told us why you wanted the bottomless pot. Tell me why the ultimate key is so important to you. You're our hostages, remember? You do our bidding without question, and you don't become one with the sea. After what Aziza went through, I only think it's fair that we know where our efforts went into. After all, I see us more as allies than prisoners. You are close to my grandma and know more about my dad's relationship with her to have simply heard rumors. If you were as evil as you make yourself out to be, he would have told us to avoid the sea at all cost, claiming pirates to be cold-blooded killers. Quite a naive girl, just as the boy was," she muttered. "You want the truth? I was an admiral of Ortega with a ship dear to me called Vento Eterno. My crew and I took to the sea, fighting uncertain battles, sailing through wicked storms. It was a good and exciting life. I lost my title and ship after our battle with Baramos. All I have now is my crew. Not only did you know my dad's cause, but my grandma as well. However, you speak of them as people you despised, yet you helped. After that day, I had no intention of keeping my relationship with them. But it seemed no matter how far I went, she hounded me like some mutt. She came to me with the offer to guide some heroes across the sea in exchange for Japan's gold, but I had no intention of helping anyone. I just needed some pawns to collect the pot, and after seeing you all in action, I accepted her request. At first, I didn't recognize the old coot, but once she brought up your hero's journey, it all flooded back. To think that after having our sorry butts handed to us, she still returns to the fight." She stops for a moment as sorrow fills her eyes. Pimiko never did describe the day Ortega died. Hotaru only learned of its aftermath once the king told her Baramos lived. From the people she ran into, the battle was bigger than she thought. People from around the world were involved, yet she grew up ignorant to the world. The captain was right. Hotaru was naive. Anyway, back to your question. The ultimate key will release her from the shipyard where she is forever bound. Once she is free, my crew and I will sail the seas, returning to our former glory before Baramos' return." "Then you would rather wander about, reminiscing about better times than helping our cause to get them back? You still have a lot to learn. We did once, and that is how we ended up here. I'm going to be honest with you, kid. Going in there is suicide. But if that is what you will do, I will drop you off in Ortega after this is all done. Just know that this whole saving the world thing is a bunch of drivel to keep the hopes up of those who don't understand." Hotaru tries to ponder the words that might have the captain reconsider, and though her belief is saddening, she looks satisfied with her plan to sail endlessly. To live a simple life, Hotaru thought. How can I fault her for wanting it? The reason I fight is for the same thing, and without the help I have received, I would have taken the same resolve. About time. she exhaled as she looked over to a coral reef peeking out from the ocean. The coral is a lifeless color with sharp spires surrounding it. The ship drops its heavy anchor and rapidly slows its approach to avoid collision. It takes a moment for the ship to stop its advancement, but the powerful waves make the ship rock back and forth. The captain steps over to the bow, where a rough sailor awaits her. She removes the bottomless pot from her coat and hands it to him. "Start draining the water and be careful with it. We only get one shot." "Yes, Captain," he answered. With the golden pot in hand, he secures a rope to its base and carefully lowers it to the watery abyss. It kerplunks, quickly sinking deeper until it disappears in the darkness. In its place, a small whirlpool is created, sucking in the water like a bathtub drain. In seconds, the coral ascends with many of the fish in its sheltering formation scattering. A confident chuckle escaped her lips. The bottomless pot is working. How such a thing exists is unworldly. A small pot capable of disturbing the ocean. However, with disturbance comes agitation. A screech echoes in the ocean, closing in faster than the draining of water, and the captain withdraws her gun. She adorns a grin of determination. "Listen well, hero. If you think you and your party can defeat Baramos, then prove it. Become unwavering like your father, but fully understand first what you're getting yourself into." From the ocean, giant fish, twice the size of Hotaru, land onto the deck. They screech as they glare down at her. Their scales are green and cover their star-shaped head down to their tail fin. Their teeth and eyes are sharp like knives, with claws longer than daggers. With an unpleasant and loud battle cry that sounds like scraping steel, they lunge. "Ready yourselves, men. We got mermen aboard." Hotaru draws the attention of one, while the captain another. As the sailors join in, more emerge from the depths, sinking their claws into the hull of the ship. Violent cries as their slain echo in the air, and the powerful scent of gunpowder coats the ship. Hotaru locks her blade with a merman's mouth, glaring each other down with the intent to kill. A shout startles them both, and a golden claw impales into its skull. It collapses, disappearing into a pillar of light. "Isamu! We heard the captain and we will help out." Fedir runs up from the stairs and blasts the nearest merman off the deck with a sudden wind spell from his staff. He joins the others, tightly gripping the staff as the ship quakes. "What about Aziza?" Hotaru screams, trying to overpower their unified screeching. "She will be fine." Isamu drives his fist past Hotaru's head and into another merman. "Now less talking and more fighting." She nods, and together they charge into the fray, wiping out the opposition with brutal strikes and blistering slashes. A sound erupts from the bow of the ship. Rising from the ocean is a temple covered in seaweed that lifts to as high as the mast of the ship. "Captain, the shrine has revealed itself," the sailor with the returned bottomless pot calls out. "Hey, you lot," the captain rang out to Hotaru and the others. "Defend the ship until I get back. It shouldn't be long." She darts up the bowsprit and jumps to the opening of the shrine. She lands with grace and continues her charge into the temple with a few of her crew behind her. Even though the crew's manpower has thinned, so have the mermen. With great synergy and numbers, the mermen are left to retreat. However, peace has yet to come. The freezing rain pours heavy, and the wind blows with the might of a raging storm. "What's going on?" Hotaru yelled. "Something big is approaching," Fedir answered. His eyes closed, appearing to listen to the sounds of nature as he was positioned toward the closest taffrails of the ship. He takes a step back to the center of the ship. His eyes narrow. "It's fast. Get away from the rails." The ocean's waves reach over the deck of the ship. The salt water flows down through the stairs into the cabin and slams into its side like a wrecking ball. A visceral bellow tremors. Large bubbles surround the ship as if in a boiling pot. A sailor panics. "By the goddess, it can't be!" From the ocean depths, its booming bellow vibrates their organs as it emerges to the surface. A wave slams into the hull, nearly knocking them to their feet, potentially overboard without Fedir's warning. It's as giant as the ship, and dark as the clouds pouring in the heavy rain. Its several tentacles reveals itself from both sides, and it opens both its massive yellow eyes the size of castle doors, staring down Hotaru. "It's Squidzilla!" a pirate screamed. "Load the cannons! Push that thing back!" It slams its tentacles onto the deck, and the ship violently rocks. The barrels roll and shatter, spilling supplies onto the deck or ocean. The remaining pirates struggle to follow through with orders. Haphazardly, they fire their guns at its head, but their bullets are absorbed into its squishy body. They cut into its limb with their cutlasses, and even with Hotaru and Isamu aiding them, their weapons bounce off, leaving minor lacerations. Fedir flings spells of fire and wind, yet nothing happens to the massive squid as it continues its onslaught. The beast of the ocean is different from other monsters they fought before. It is immortal. It takes its giant eye and finds Fedir, lifting its other tentacles. Fedir braces, and as it falls, a knife flies through the air, piercing into its eye. It screeches with a bellow that rumbles the waves, nearly capsizing the ship. Its tentacle comes down, and Aziza pushes him out of the way. "Aziza?" Fedir cried out. She readies another knife, jumping back to avoid its strike, throwing another knife into the same eye. She has a slight limp, but braves the pain with a snarl. "Don't worry about me." Its wounded eye has sparkles of light dripping from it, the light being a sign of hope. The monster grows furious, quickly taking its tentacles, grabbing hold of the ship. With strength beyond compare, the ship shakes as if struck by an earthquake, and with a bellowing roar, it rips apart the ship. Hotaru slides down to the newly created rip at the center of the ship. The sharp planks look like teeth belonging to the jaws of death. Is this where it ends? The massive waves slam into both segments, and without their combined weight they capsize. She crashes into the freezing water. The ocean is as black as night. The sounds of chaos are muffled. Her friends are lost as imminent death embraces her.